When you're looking for and finding in a small business, that's all of our viewers, just about our listeners on this. What are you looking for when you're hiring these team members and retaining them?
The biggest transformation when it comes to people that I've had in my career really happened probably 15 years ago. And I moved from the concept of a job description to more of a journey description. And I really, thought about bringing talent on the teams the same way that I thought about probably courting my wife when I was a young man. And that is really thinking about what is the journey that you want these people to go on with you? What is the journey that they want to have? So instead of it being what's the task, what's the job, what's the immediate accomplishment that needs to happen in the business, really what's the journey for their life? What do they want to accomplish? What do they want to do? And by the way, sometimes there's not good alignment with the business task and the business objective, and it's just not a good fit, and we move on. But I think most of the success around getting high capacity, high quality talent has been understanding how you could retain those people for a long time by understanding what their own goals and journeys are. And by the way, when people don't know what the heck they want to do, and they don't have goals and they don't really have a plan and a strategy, a lot of times those aren't people that are a good fit for our team. And we have to wait for people that really know what they want to do because it's important for us to have that characteristic in the business.
So when you talk about a strong company culture is achieved through balance of aligning good people, clear vision, and strategy. One of the things I've noticed, and I'm trying to teach these guys this in the EntreLeadership world as they move up through the stages of business from, a treadmill operator where you're by yourself on the treadmill, then you start to add team, and then you start to lay out strategy and try to align people with it, it becomes like the leader's almost full-time job to say, this is who we are, this is where the culture, this is where we are going, the strategy or vision, and if you want to be a we, this is how you align. And then give them the option of opting out. If they're not smart enough to figure out that they need to opt out, we have to help them opt out. Or they're just too, stuck or something. You're not aligned with where we're going and who we are. And, I love that you put that in that, use that phraseology on this. But I think sometimes, and you've experienced a lot because you've done a bunch of different deals, but to get these, get the ducks lined up, so to speak. All of us are ducks in that sense. But to get us lined up, there's some heartache involved because people that you love, some of them don't want to get on the train.
That's right. That's right. It's, one of my very best friends in the world was one of my first employees, and it was really painful, but I figured out he just was not a cultural fit, didn't have the right alignment for where we needed to go, and I had to walk in his office one day and high-five him, and he moved on. But, I think the best way to align culture with really vision is through professional development and training. And I remember early on in my career, I'd bring people in my office and I would sit them down and lecture them and maybe raise my voice and get frustrated. But I figured out that if I was able to gain cultural alignment in the company, it was primarily through training and development. So I'd sit down with these people. I moved from it was a policy, it was a memo, it was something we needed to do, to let's create a training program around what our objectives are. And then it becomes required. I mean, you're almost certifying people to follow the rules instead of giving them a directive. You're getting them on board. So, and I'll tell you, the bigger the company's got with more people, I think I was a control freak early in my career, and I just wanted to tell everyone what to do. And as I got older, I figured out that I could sell people on what to do if it truly was professional development and training. And I wanted their input and I wanted their feedback. Hey, sometimes, I was making bad decisions and I needed people to be able to tell me. And it was a lot easier to understand where I needed to make adjustments as a leader if we were doing development and training versus just giving people directives. No one wants a directive.
Absolutely. I read in your bio that you build businesses without using debt, which, of course, is one of the reasons you and I connected up. Talk about that because, I'm pretty much considered a freak, as you know, for not using debt. And yet the truth is a lot of people go debt-free in their business operations.
Yeah. So, look, I like to dance, Dave. And in debt, I feel like you're having to dance in a straitjacket. You really can't be creative. You can't do all the fun things that you want to do. I'm involved in some businesses definitely that have debt, and I'm a participant in those businesses. But businesses that I own outright, that are ones that I'm really focused on, don't have debt, and it allows you to be more creative. There are so many days that I'm frustrated with limitations around growth and opportunity that would potentially advance if there was debt. But the reality is it would restrict us, and we wouldn't be able to be as creative, and we wouldn't be able to ultimately have as much fun. So I think patience is a big part of the process. But for me, when I started my first business, I didn't have any credit. I didn't have any money. I really didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have any wealthy family members. I was just trying to get by and ultimately provide for my family. And so I figured out the best way to generate capital was to go out and sell. And fortunately, I love to sell. And so anytime I needed funding, that just told me I had to sell more. And maybe one other piece of that, I've always enjoyed businesses that are high margin. And I know that you talk.
Debt destroys the margin. Yeah.
Yeah, debt destroys the margin. And I love to protect the margin because I like the free cash flow, because I like to be able to reinvest in the business. And you can't reinvest in the business with just effort. You need capital to reinvest in the business so you can scale and grow. So it's been a fundamental practice for me. I think I started out, Dave, out of necessity. I mean, I just didn't have anywhere to go borrow money. And so you learn how to build businesses without borrowing money. And it's a pretty fun thing. And, at the end of the day, when you sell a company and you don't have any debt or you don't have much debt, it makes for a lot bigger payday. And that's a lot of fun.
That's true. It changes the whole liquidity moment, doesn't it? For sure.
It does.
Hey, Vic, thanks for hanging out with us, man. Vic Keller, serial entrepreneur, and you can find him at vickeller.com. Appreciate your friendship, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please watch this next one. I think you're going to love it.